phenomenon. With serious issues, mankind choose to fool around. Then they go find out, facing real consequences, that when you play totish games, you win foolish prizes. The mighty US of A, look how them in disarray, because they forget the first dose of madness. So with the short-term memory, they welcome back Donald T. to give that fascist a second term in office. But after they take the bait and they realize where's the fate, enough of them want to change the vote, but it is too late. You see the FA, FO, I see the FA, now they got FO. Plenty immigrants made their choice. Uncle Donald they supporting, but he put their support on ice and themselves he start deporting. FA, FO, I see the FA, now they got FO. But now Donald breaks in because it now so keen. He naming the Epstein files, so they now studying like they're voting a presidential pedophile. FA, FO, I see the FA. Wrong, there's no doubt. Even Uncle Sam will find out that what's so in Bam Bam starts sweet in the mouth. When you shout F.A. F.O. I tell you that is the call. Oh, say, can you see? You see the call? Come in. Trinidad love all fours, you know that is the truth. So when America trump, we just follow suit. If them MAGA morons is America's concern, well, we present government is easily the clones. From 2010 to 15, the tenure was so obscene, scandalize the land and destroy we economy. But like we miss the free for all, incompetence and bubble, so we bring them back to finish mash up the country. And as they assume their roles, I set a square peg in wrong holes. Now plenty people who help them win at the polls. Feel the FA, FO. They say the FA, now they got FO. The two worst Alexanders in the world and to make ministers. One is a racist troll and one need a West Indian first primer. FA, FO. I say the FA. Setting up TNT in people worship how we in place. She should have let the Yankee army plant the red eye in shipping palace. FA, FO, I said the FA, no she got FO. You see when you're FA wrong, there's no doubt. Persona non grata must find out that what's our in Bam Bam starts sweet in she mouth. Sing it out. FA, FO, I tell you that. The mandate of most of the electorate, not to mention the support of your party base. Somehow you took that to mean you could manipulate and dictate the decision of who should take your place. And because you were the top dog, you move like an overlord. You find when you tell them jump, they should have asked how high. You set out to sway the vote, offer up a young scapegoat to just get a kobo sweat after you say bye-bye. You delay party convention, play with party constitution, and figure you could have gerrymander the outcome. But your FA, FO, got your FA, and then your FO. You chain up the young man for truth to snap the election fingers fast. Although every poll warn you that would have be a shortcut. FA, FO, got your FA, now all of we FO. So for your voters who stayed away, you certainly have a part to play. But they feel like they get betrayed, like it had snake in the body. Say FA, FO, I say your FA, now all of we FO. You see when you're FA wrong without doubt, even strong leaders find out that what's our
Information provided by the speakers and/or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
Yak and Friends proudly presents Uhuru 8. Join us on Saturday, July 25th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the City Hall Auditorium, Harris Promenade in San Fernando. This year's celebration is held in honor of Mr. Anthony Kamiziong as we continue strengthening our African ties through culture, unity, and heritage. Experience an unforgettable evening of African dance, powerful drumming, cultural expression, and great food. Early bird tickets are $350 admits 2 and $200 admits 1. Come dressed in your finest African attire for a chance to win Best Dressed Male and Female. Celebrate African culture. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate Uhuru 8. For tickets, contact 684-1792 or ticket outlet at Something Special with Finishing Touch at Ritz Plaza, number 25, St. James Street in San Fernando.
Coming soon to Constructive Talk Network, Critical Thinkers. It's a youth show with a youth perspective on current affairs and issues in Trinidad and Tobago. Critical Thinkers, youth perspective on Constructive Talk.
The information provided by the speakers and/or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
I want to start by reading a quote for you that is trending online now. Someone sent it to me and I saw it so many times. I think it's good for us to read this quote. I'm sure when I start to read it, you will be familiar with it. It says, out of hatred for the cockroach, the ants voted for the insecticide. Out of hatred for the cockroach, the ants voted for the insecticide. They all died, big on in the tail, including the housefly that didn't even vote. They all died, including the housefly that didn't even vote. It says an African proverb, but it could be a Trinidadian and Tobagonian proverb. It is so true of our situation here today.
So good evening to all of you locked on to Constructive Talk. This evening, my guest is going to be the Honorable Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. So I want you to prepare yourself. We're going to be discussing a lot of things. Bali's House, his time as being the chief whip. It's a year, how he feels as opposition chief whip and how things have been going in the parliament. So we're getting ready. We have 5 minutes. The next 5 or less minutes, we're going to have opposition chief whip with us, chairman of the People's National Movement, the Honorable Mr. Marvin Gonzalez, who is going to be joining me on Constructive Talk.
Plenty immigrants made their choice. Uncle Donald they're supporting, but he put their support on ice and themselves he start deporting. F.A. F.O. I said the F.A. Now they go F.O. But now Donald breaks in because it now so keen. He naming the Epstein files, so they now studying like they're voting a presidential pedophile. F.A. F.O. I said the F.A. Wrong, there's no doubt. Even Uncle Sam will find out that what's so I in bam bam starts sweet in the mouth. When you shout F.A. F.O. I tell you that is, tell them that is the call. Oh, say, can you see? You see the call? Come in. Trinidad love all fours, you know that is the truth. So when America Trump, we just follow suit. If them MAGA morons is America's concern, well, we present government is easily their clones. From 2010 to 15, the tenure was so obscene, scandalize the land and destroy we economy. But like we miss the free for all, incompetence and bubble, so we bring them back to finish mash up the country. And as they assume their roles, I set a square peg in wrong holes. Now plenty people who help them win at the polls. Feel the F.A. F.O. They say the F.A. No, they go F.O. The two worst Alexanders in the world and he make ministers. One is a racist troll and one need a West Indian first primer. F.A. F.O. I said the F.A. Setting up TNT in people worship what we in place. She should have let the Yankee army plant the radar in shipping palace. F.A. F.O. I said the F.A. No, she go F.O. You see when you're F.A. wrong, there's no doubt. Persona non grata must find out that what's our in bam bam starts sweet in she mouth. Sing it out. F.A. F.O. I tell you that mandate of most of the electorate, not to mention the support of your party base. Somehow you took that to mean you could manipulate and dictate the decision of who should take your place. And because you were the top dog, you move like an overlord. You find when you tell them jump, they should have asked how high. You set out to sway the vote, offer up a young scapegoat to just get a kobo sweat after you say bye-bye. You delay party convention, play with party constitution, and figure you could have gerrymandered the outcome of your F.A. F.O. Of your F.A. and then your F.O. You chain up the young man for true.
All right, so we are back. As I said to you guys, I have a guest with me this evening, and the guest is none other than the Honorable Mr. Marvin Gonzalez, MP, chairman. The man just filling a whole big shoes, and I just want to know how he fulfilling that role, fulfilling that role in those big shoes. So this evening, As I promised you guys, I have with me Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, Pastor. Good evening to Trinidad and Tobago, and good evening to your viewers around the world, in North America, in the Caribbean, in the United Kingdom, all over Europe. I understand you have a worldwide following, so congratulations to you, and good evening wherever you are around the world listening to this program. I consider myself to be privileged to be given this platform to speak to all of you wherever you are.
Well, Mr. Gonzal, really, yeah. You owe us a visit since for the internal elections.
Oh boy, you don't have to tell everybody that.
That's all right, man. They understand. Trust me when I tell you they understand. They understand. This is your family, you know, Mr. Gonzal. Trust me when I tell you
I know that.
These people on this platform here, I can't tell you nothing out of place. You know. When I tell you I can't say nothing out of place here, this is your people.
Good.
And they love you to bits. I could say that with all facts and truth. I hope that you have a glass of water or something to drink this evening.
I'm actually sipping on some tea.
Well, you see, to keep your voice nice and warm.
Peppermint tea, and
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? You understand the thing. So because I have a glass of cranberry juice, I try to keep it a little healthy. If it's not water, it's cranberry juice or something like that. Because when you're going down in age now, you have to make sure and keep the body healthy.
and not only that, but when you have American roots from
gosh, that man chewing that way. That man remember that boy. Oh gosh. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so, you have to maintain the tradition.
Yes, man. So, Mr. Gonzalez, a year and how much months now, boy? April, May, June, July. A year and 3 months?
A year and 3 months.
A year and 3 months. After the general election last year, you will have won your seat. I see you had to give them a fight because of misinformation, because of people being unhappy generally, because of some, misinformation or because they felt as though, things wasn't going their way. You know how this election thing does go. But you gave them a fight and you won. It doesn't matter how much you won, but I don't know why people just want to play semantics with how much Spain won by. 1 goal Spain won by, and Spain is holding a gold cup today.
They won the World Cup. Well, you see, you have to look at everything in context. I recall, and I don't really get into any argument or semantics about, whether you win your seat by 100 votes or 200 votes or even 20 votes. A victory is a victory, and my constituency is in the column of the PNM.
That's it.
In 1986, I recall, and I stand to be corrected, when the PNM was almost wiped out of the landscape in Trinidad and Tobago by the NAR, routed by the NAR 33-3, Patrick Manning won his seat, I'm told, by under 100 votes. Right?
Wow.
And that is because, and I'm told that the then political leader of the NAR refused a recount because it was believed that had there been a recount, it would have been even closer. And but San Fernando East, despite the fact that Patrick Manning won it by under 50 votes or so, I think it was about 20-something votes. From there, he was able to rebuild, and San Fernando East is a frontline PNM constituency. So in my case last year, when most PNM constituencies would have fallen in votes by over 2,000, the last time this happened in 2010,
yes,
Neil Parsonlal was the member of parliament, and something similar occurred, and the then constituency of Lupino Bonia West went into the column of the People's Partnership.
Yeah.
Right? that same constituency, because the PNM votes from compared to 2007, by 2010, the PNM votes had declined drastically in the constituency as other constituencies around. And it went across to the UNC, or the People's Partnership.
Yes.
And something similar occurred last year, where there was a wave of unpopularity that and the headwinds, political headwinds affecting the PNM. And despite the fact that my votes would have fallen by over 2,000, like
Wow.
other constituencies, like in Grandia, I think it fell by 3,000, Arima, 2,000 to 3,000, La Hocta, we lost it. In Malabar, Mauseka, it fell by a similar margin. I was still able to hold on to the seat.
Yes.
You understand the point I'm making?
Yes, I understand the point you're making.
And what happened is that the UNC increased its votes by about 400.
Wow.
So what, in fact, the UNC, so the UNC, even though I won by 260 votes or so, 258, the UNC vote only increased by 400 votes. So it is just that, and when we examine the polling divisions, it is just that the PNM voters didn't come out and vote, as occurred in other PNM constituencies around the country.
Yes.
So it was something national that occurred, and I thank God that despite the fact that it also occurred in my constituency, I was still able to hold on to the seat, and I'm a proud second-term member of parliament for my constituency. But I want to give PNM members the assurance that that whenever the next election is called, the constituency will be, it will be stronger than ever.
Right.
It will be stronger than ever. So we continue to march on.
That's good.
We continue to grow the party. We're in the process of conducting our constituency or party group AGMs. I want to start an initiative and I'm announcing it here for the very first time. But I've been thinking about that idea for a long time. But I want to launch it in September, where every month there will be a constituency town hall meeting.
Okay.
Right? We will be going to various parts of the constituency, and we will have a monthly town hall meeting. And in that meeting, constituents will be able to voice their concerns, speak to the member of parliament, speak to the sitting councillors, and I will have guests that I will invite, members of the party to also come and make some statements. And as the member of parliament and the chairman of the party and the chief whip, I will have a lot to say, not only about the constituency, but about what is happening in our country.
Mr. Gonzal, you are the chief whip. Some people don't know what that means. Some people understand what it means. And this platform, is a platform that I try to educate my listeners, educate my viewers, to the point where I want them to be able, if they call a radio station and the announcer asks them in a condescending way, where's that chief whip? Yo, let's call it to talk about the chief whip. What the chief whip job is? They must be able to rattle it off as a PNM supporter, as somebody who are aware of the Constitution and aware of what's going on around them. Because I'll tell you this, Mr. Gonzal, I had my dad is a lawyer. He's a constitutional lawyer and a criminal lawyer. Right? And I had him on last week, Wednesday, talking about this Hadid, explaining to people what is a PDO and what is happening and certain people and certain things. And a lot of persons were happy and they were able to, when they're listening to the radio now, and they're listening to the news, and they're listening to the minister, and they know exactly now what is going on. What is going on?
Yes.
And this is what this platform, Mr. Gonzal, this is what I build this platform for, to educate
Yes.
the people, to keep them abreast
Yes.
on current affairs and stuff like that. So I just wanted to educate the listeners, what is a chief whip job and stuff like that.
All right. So the job of the chief whip in the parliament is a very vital role managing the business of the opposition in the parliament. And the opposite to the chief whip is the leader of government business.
Right.
In the parliament. So you have on the government side the minister or the member of parliament that leads or manages the government caucus. Their speakers and how they vote, political strategy, is the leader of government business. On the opposition side, it is not, they don't call it leader of opposition business. They call it the chief whip. And the chief whip works closely with the leader of the opposition in developing and devising the opposition strategies for debates in the parliament, management of speakers, votes, how we vote on specific bills.
Okay.
All right. So the chief whip is the senior member of the opposition that manages the opposition business in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
The chief whip speaks to his opponent or his colleague on the opposite side, which is the leader of government business, from time to time with respect to speakers, with respect to not strategies per se, but sometimes we are called upon on a regular basis to speak to the other side. We have to speak to the other side because it is the parliament, and a lot happens behind the scene, away from the cameras, where as chief whip and the leader of on the opposition bench, I will speak to the leader of government business and indicate to him, okay, well, on this debate, I intend to put 5 speakers, I intend to put 3 speakers. And so we have a sense as to how we are going to manage our speakers, the time allotted, etc. Sometimes before the sitting of the parliament, the leader of government business will reach out to me. He would indicate, well, we have 2 statements to be read by ministers. They will go over the allocated time as specified in the standing orders. I'm appealing for your support and not object. And so these things will happen before the sitting of the parliament, and I will speak to the leader of the opposition and my caucus, and to get their view on whether or not we should support it or object to it.
Right.
So the chief whip is like the main person that will be used by the opposition to interact with the government on certain matters from time to time. In terms of our caucus, before parliamentary sittings, we have caucus where we devise our strategies, we devise how we are going to approach certain debates, how we are going to take certain positions. Because I tell you, remember, there are individuals. So in our case, we have 13 members of parliament and there are 13 individuals. We are not always on the same page where matters are concerned. So from time to time, we go into private caucus where we trash out our differences in terms of whether we should support a bill, a policy position. Members need to give other members, that opportunity and respect to express their views.
Right.
And then at the end of it, we take a united position, and we go to the parliament with a united position. All of these things are guided by the chief whip in the parliament. And we are also the conduit to the staff of the parliament. So the staff of the parliament is managed by the clerk of the house.
Right.
And from time to time, the clerk of the house will reach out to me and to let me know, to inform opposition members of certain things that may affect their interests. Before the sitting of parliament, we, as you know, from time to time, there'll be questions that we will pose to ministers, urgent questions depending on issues of the day, questions to the Prime Minister on Prime Minister's question time. All of these questions have to be collated through the Chief Whip and forwarded to the Parliament, so that when you put on your Parliament channel and you see at the start of Parliament, ministers ask questions. Those questions are filed sometimes a month before the sitting, and those questions are filed by the Chief Whip on behalf of the opposition. Urgent questions, again, the standing orders provide, well, look, listen, you can file an urgent question depending on what is happening in the country. You have to file it at least an hour and a half before the actual sitting of the Parliament. So I will be in contact with my caucus. Are there any issues that we should pose to the government ministers, whether it is utility issues, water, electricity, crime, whatever it is, energy, and those questions are filed in the Parliament through the Chief Whip. So it's quite a lot that happens in the background, in terms of how we manage our affairs in the Parliament. Great. So I give you an idea as to the role of the Chief Whip. It's quite a lot of work, and you know, the Parliament is a place where the opposition holds the government to account, and therefore the Chief Whip has to always be on his P's and Q's, as they say, making sure that motions are filed. You have motions on the order paper on specific issues, identifying which motion is critical to be debated on Private Members' Day, right? Questions to the ministers, questions to the Prime Minister, and even pushing back at the Speaker in our case, because we have a unique problem in Trinidad and Tobago's Parliament, where the presiding officer, you know, he is not, let me not breach the standing orders, because they have a way. I know. They scrutinize. They scrutinize every single thing that I say. To either serve me pre-action protocol letter or to bring a motion of privilege against me. Because, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man, because I know that for a fact, because there are times when I have Brian Manning on with me, and the callers and they would be trying to prompt him when callers would call and say, but the speaker bias, and the speaker this, and Brian would say, I cannot respond because I don't want to breach standing orders. And Brian has always been one to be on his P's and Q's when it comes to the speaker, because you know he has a love-hate relationship with the speaker too.
They scrutinize everything that we say to bring, you know, motions of censure against us.
Yeah.
It's intimidation, but what do you do?
Of course it is. You know, the other thing too, I wanted you to share with Trinidad and Tobago. You know, I always watch Parliament channel. I personally no, before I did used to watch Parliament channel all that much, but you see, no, I don't know. I watch Parliament channel a lot now, and I realized that there are times when you all don't get, there are certain questions that you all may have, and sometimes you may get to ask a question, and then you have the Minister of National Security always trying to evade the question by calling standing order. There's a standing order he always calls to try to evade from answering questions. Also,
27(1)G.
Is there anything you all could do to stop that?
Can I share an open secret with you?
Talk. What is that?
Yeah, and don't laugh,
all right. I'll try that too.
I hope your listeners and your viewers don't laugh at me. Well, before I started the opposition, I was a minister for 4 years and a half, almost 5 years, right, before the election was called. I served as a minister of
public utilities.
I acted as Attorney General. I acted in
several
ministries, right? Yeah. And right before the election, I was appointed Minister of National Security. I only served for about 6 weeks because it was right before the elections.
Oh, yes.
Right? So I know once you get the questions from Parliament as a minister, you have to sit with your permanent secretary and call the heads of the chairman of your boards and get the answers and the information to present it to the Parliament. So once you get the questions that have been approved by the Speaker,
right,
you go and you get the questions, you get the answers, you get the information, and you prepare yourself to go to the parliament to answer questions filed by the opposition as approved by the Speaker of the House.
Right.
That is your role, and not only that, but you prepare for supplemental questions that after you answer the substantive questions, the opposition can follow up with 4 questions that you don't know what those 4 questions might be, but they are normally based on the answer that you would have provided, and you have to be prepared to answer the questions, the supplemental questions. And so we would go to the parliament, and all of us, not only me as minister of public utilities or national security, all of us as PNM ministers, we go to parliament and we are mandated to answer those questions. We always took it seriously, I was never aware that there was a standing order called 271G on.
Sorry.
Until-
I couldn't help it.
So I remember the first question I posed to Alexander and Padarat. And I remember the questions. I asked Padarat about the reason why they fired the WASA board, the WASA executive management. Please can the minister provide reasons for the immediate termination of the executive management of WASA, which is like 9 executives, including the CEO. The state, the PNM government would have spent millions of dollars to recruit those persons far and wide, all over the world, put the best in place to manage the Water and Sewage Authority. And 1 month after the UNC came into government, all of them were removed, right? So I asked a question: can the minister provide reasons for the immediate termination of the executive of WASA? So I waiting to see, what he going to say, because I know they have no reason for the immediate termination and the summary dismissal of these executive officers. The man stand up in parliament and say, Mr. Speaker, given the nature of this matter, I invoke 271G. And I have to rush to my standing order to read what is 271G, only to realize that this is a standing order that gives a minister a getaway point not to answer a question.
Wow.
On the ground of public interest.
Wow.
I am saying that to you, Pastor, because there's no way, as ministers in a Rowley government, he would have tolerated that kind of behavior.
Wow.
No way. You don't want to go to the parliament and answer questions, then you're not supposed to be a minister. And I asked Alexander some question about the state of emergency. It was something was going on in the country at the time. I filed the question under urgent question. And I think it occurred on the same day. So I waited to hear what this man coming to tell me and the country as to what was taking place. I saw this man stand up and invoke 271G. Well, I stood up one time and I said, Mr. Speaker, this question was approved by you for the minister to come here and answer. The exercise of 271G cannot be a realistic and a reasonable option to be given to a minister, because this question was approved by the parliament for the minister to come here. And if that is the case, then you are making a mockery of our parliamentary democracy and our parliamentary system. And the speaker looked at me and the speaker said that he can't do anything about it because he didn't draft the standing orders.
Wow.
So, and this has happened consistently under this government. You could just could you imagine if the PNM used to behave like that, how the UNC would have behaved?
What? But it would
You
not.
understand the point I'm making?
Yeah, it wouldn't even stand a chance.
When the central bank governor was fired, we filed a question. I think it was Alvin Hillier. We filed a question to the Minister of Finance to ask the Minister of Finance to explain the reason for the termination of the central bank governor of Trinidad and Tobago. And the minister stood and says Section 27(1)(g) cannot provide the answer in the public interest. Refused to answer the question. You remember it had some panic in the country where people, because of the build-up of military action in Venezuela, and soldiers and police were called to barracks urgently.
Yes.
And there was widespread panic.
Yes.
It happened on Friday. We went to Parliament on that Friday, and I filed an urgent question for the Minister of Defense to come and tell us whether or not there was a call out of members of the Defense Force and members of the police service. And I asked the question because I had information. I had some documents in my hands where the members of the Defense Force and police service were called out to immediately report to barracks. Traffic all over, gridlock traffic all over. And I didn't just ask the question, because you remember when those questions are asked, Pastor, it gives the minister a platform to speak to the country and to give assurances. The minister invoked 27(1)(g) and say he can answer the question.
I often hear that that started on that being. I sometimes wonder what is he doing? What is he really doing as a nation when you do things like that? But again,
and then Prime Minister's question. Since Prime Minister's question were introduced in our standing orders in 2013. 2014. The standing orders were amended. Dr. Rowley, straight up to 2025, attended all Prime Minister's questions. And once the questions are posed to the Prime Minister, the opposition is provided with 4 follow-up questions on the main question. So you have the main question, and after the Prime Minister answers, the opposition can ask 4 supplementary questions. So when the UNC won the elections, Prime Minister's question, we had a whole list of questions for Kamala to come and answer to the Parliament. And then when she answered the question we would ask our follow-up, and the Speaker blocked us and say, well, the standing orders didn't provide for a supplementary question. So we told the Speaker, but that has been our practice since it was introduced in 2014 to 2015. That has been our practice. Previous Prime Ministers came to this Parliament to answer questions, and 4 supplementary questions each. And the Speaker, up to the time Parliament went on recess last month, never allowed us the opportunity to ask Kamala follow-up questions.
Wow.
So he would refuse 95% of the questions that we filed. Kamala would only come to answer 1 or 2. And most of the times, she will not answer the question that we actually filed and that were approved. And we cannot seek clarification because the Speaker will not allow us to ask supplementary questions. So it has made Prime Minister's question a charade in the Parliament. And I'm saying all of that to demonstrate to citizens in Trinidad and Tobago and wherever you are around the world that the attack on democracy did not start yesterday. I know we might talk about Balize House and everything just now.
But we will. Yeah.
The Balize House issue is just the latest. It's just the latest in a number of consistent activities, well coordinated since this UNC government came into power.
Wow.
To suppress dissent, to stifle the voices of opposition, and any mechanisms that we have in place to hold them to account. They dismantle it. It is a systematic dismantling of accountability and transparency in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow.
And it started in our Parliament. Our Parliament is now a charade. It is now a shadow of itself. And our Parliament was the gold standard for parliamentary democracy in the Caribbean, and the Commonwealth.
Yes.
You may not be aware of that. I am telling you, that the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago is a gold standard for parliamentary democracy in the entire Commonwealth. They monitor the entire Commonwealth, monitors the conduct of parliamentary proceedings in Trinidad and Tobago. But when the UNC came into government in 2025, that was the end of it.
Wow.
Trinidad and Tobago's parliament has been reduced to ashes under this government. And a complete charade.
Very interesting. Mr. Gonzal, I see that you have been making statements in the public about and trying to educate the public about the PDOs and how you feel about it. I don't know if you heard the news this evening. Normally what I do, I play snippets of some of the news and generate a conversation on it. I don't know if you heard the news this evening on CNC3 about the Hadids and what. So can I play it for you and you could share your view on it?
Sure.
Because I know that you would have spoken up on it in the media just recently. So I want to touch on it so that persons will hear and you could share with us what is your view. And I also have something else I want to before I go to that. I heard in the media review, because I asked Mr. Vasan Bharat. I had Mr. Vasan Bharat on my program. Was it last week? Yes. And I asked Mr. Bharat. I said, Mr. Bharat, as a former minister, did you have the privilege of hiring people to work in ministries? Like you could just say, okay, as a minister, you say, Google had to work as the accountant or assistant accountant in this ministry. I heard Barry Padarat stand up in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago and said he hired 500 and something people. He as the minister hired 500 and something people to work in Wassa.
Yeah. And here, including all of these social media people to continue their political campaign and their political attacks against anyone they consider to be their opponent.
So
when he said that he hired, it meant that the 500 plus hirings inside of Wassa was as a result of a political directive by this government.
Yes.
That should concern all of us.
All of us. I like how you say that. All of us.
Right?
Wow.
Matara and Twiggy, Shark. I mean, you could just imagine a PNM minister behaving like that and doing these things.
Man, did I protest outside your house?
Exactly. Like they did that already.
Okay. Like how the union did it to you.
I'm no stranger to that.
Right. Just want to let people know that. So I'm going to play for you now what was said in the news this evening about the Hadids and you will come in and you will share with us your views on these videos and what is going on. All right? So take a listen to this, MP.
The State of Emergency Tribunal has recommended that businessman Dominic Hadid be released. The recommendation was revealed in documents filed by the state before the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council as part of its appeal against the Court of Appeal rulings on the Hadid's preventive detention order.
According to the filing, Hadid requested a review of his PDO on June 28th. The tribunal received written submissions on his behalf on July 9th and heard oral arguments on July 10th. The document says that on July 19th, the tribunal advised the Minister of Homeland Security that Hadid's continued detention was not necessary or expedient in the public interest. However, the State state says the review process is not complete. The minister has asked the tribunal to reopen the matter, claiming no reasons were provided for the recommendation and that he was not given an opportunity to make submissions during the hearing. The tribunal, established under the Emergency Powers Regulations, allows for detainees to challenge their detention during the ongoing state of emergency. The state also says Genevieve Hadid has requested a review of her PDO. CNC3 News understands the tribunal is expected to issue decisions in the review matters involving Genevieve Hadid and Star Sabga in the coming days. We await a response from the Homeland Security Minister.
Now, the Hadid's appeal has officially been listed on the Privy Council's website. However, there's no date as to when the matter will be heard. The matter between the Hadids and Minister of Homeland Security, the Attorney General, the Police Commissioner, and Police Constable Eldon Khalis was posted to the court's website today. When CNC3 News visited the Hadid's Bayshore West Moorings home earlier today, the mobile unit that was assigned to the property following the couple's initial release was no longer there. Former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith is warning that Trinidad and Tobago's preventive detention order law gives the Homeland Security Minister too much power and could be abused by a future government.
Griffith says the law allows the minister to order someone's detention for months without bail or a meaningful right of appeal, based on what the minister considers credible intelligence. He says this can happen even when police do not have enough evidence to lay criminal charges. Griffith says police could be directed to arrest and detain someone without presenting evidence in court, witness statements, or enough proof to support a charge. He adds laws should be judged not only by who holds office today, but by how they could be used by someone with less regard for democratic principles. Griffith is also questioning whether the Constitution provides enough safeguards to prevent the abuse of such powers.
All right. So MP, you heard the news.
You know, at this, if you don't laugh, you'll cry in this place, you know. If you don't laugh, you'll cry in this place. As you know, right, I have been calling for and been requesting attorneys to file a constitutional motion against the state of emergency for the longest while.
Serious?
And I mean, I have made a public call that the PNM would challenge the constitutionality of the state of emergency.
You know, I should call my father now and put him on the line and let you ask him why he never do that as a constitutional lawyer.
I have been asking, and there are many reasons why a lot of experienced attorneys were shying away from it. And I don't want to say why on this program, but perhaps in the appropriate time, I will say why. What is unfortunate is that it took the state trespassing upon the constitutional rights of a very wealthy citizen or wealthy couple who happen to have the financial resources available to them to challenge the state's authority on this particular issue.
Okay.
And it is because they have the financial resources available to them. That is why we are hearing what we are hearing today in this news report. I want to ask you, Pastor, how many more cases like that we have?
And I think it's how much, 400 and something?
How many more cases like that we have, and we will never know, because the vast majority of the citizens that are impacted, that are incarcerated by these unconstitutional PDOs, simply we will never know because they do not have the financial resources to expose it.
Yes, very true.
And that every citizen should feel a punch in the stomach because of this travesty. And not knowing that this report was going to come out today, I did a video yesterday and I released it today, talking about the same PDOs and that system, calling for an investigation And I said in that video, not knowing that this report was going to break out today, calling for a transparent and independent investigation into the state's management and the exercise of the minister to issue PDOs to incarcerate citizens without charge. But just simply hearsay and she say, because as a former minister of national security, I can tell you, we get all kinds of intelligence about people. And if you just act on this intelligence without further verification, many innocent people will be locked up and incarcerated. Many innocent people. So you have to be very careful, because somebody may have an axe to grind against Pastor Google, and all it will take is for them to go and whisper in some law enforcement agency ear to say that they see you with a stack of guns some weeks ago, and you just be fraternizing with criminals. That is intelligence, Pastor Google. That is what intelligence is.
Wow.
That is what intelligence is. So when they say I have intelligence, it's because somebody who may not like you, it takes somebody who may not like you to go and whisper in somebody's ears, law enforcement ears. And that is what is called intelligence. And if you are not careful and you act on it, you could be on a PDO for the next 6 months.
Wow.
You understand? So when the minister talk about intelligence, it means that it has not risen to the state of being evidence that can support criminal prosecution. So it is just information. And all of these 400 and something citizens are locked up, their liberty being deprived based on information. And that information cannot be converted into evidence that will allow the police to put them before a court. And when they are released at some point in time, they now have to deal with the stain of being referred to as a detainee. Not because they have been charged, but simply because they have been incarcerated because of information. And they are referred to as detainees. Their lives are destroyed. Their family lives are destroyed. Their employment opportunities have been destroyed. Lives are being destroyed. And that is what led me to issuing this video, alerting citizens that is a grave constitutional travesty that is taking place upon the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are allowing it to happen. We are allowing it. Where are the churches? Why are we not revulsed? Why are we not repulsed by this? How can we sleep comfortably at nights? And these things are happening to innocent citizens.
Because what people thinking to themselves is, as we keep saying, once it don't affect me, I don't really care. Once it don't affect me, I don't care. They could lock up who they want. They could gun down who they want. I don't care. And in the case of the PDOs, I could sit down in my comfort zone as a pastor and say, you know what? I go to church, pray, and laugh, come back home, eat my macaroni pie, and stew chicken and whatever. And once they don't touch my tithes and offering, I good.
Well, one day it will come on your doors. One day it will come on your doors. And that is what is happening today, you know. So you see this report that you're hearing from the Hadiths, where the tribe, you know that tribunal was supposed to be a constitutional safeguard. It's supposed to be a legal safeguard where persons who have been locked up and incarcerated by a preventative detention order, the law allows those persons to go before a tribunal of 3 persons to ask the tribunal to examine this information and intelligence that caused the police and the minister to issue a PDO against them. So in the Hadith's case, they looked at the intelligence, they looked at the information, and the tribunal said, but it's not sufficient. It's not enough to keep them in incarceration. Recommends to the minister that it is not enough that they be released, that the PDO be discharged. What did the minister do? He refused. Now, that is a serious constitutional problem because the decision of a tribunal ought not to be varied or impacted by the same minister who issued the PDO in the first place.
Right.
I tell you something, the Privy Council waiting on them.
But you know, and I am wondering now, if the Privy Council overturn and say, hey, release them people, that means they have to release everybody else?
You see, the Privy Council will now have to look at this tribunal and decisions of the tribunal. I'll tell you this, there are a lot of issues with respect to this tribunal. Sometimes they make recommendations to the minister, I'm told, and the minister takes long to respond to their recommendations. The tribunal was put in place as a safeguard. It's an opportunity for those incarcerated persons to go and ask the tribunal to review the preventative detention orders that have them in prison. And what is wrong in this system is that the decision of the minister is not legally obligated to respond to the tribunal.
Oh.
Or to adhere to this. That is what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. The minister is not legally obligated to adhere to the decision of the tribunal, the review tribunal.
Why though?
So the very constitutional safeguards that you put in place for those citizens can be rejected by the same minister. Isn't that a conflict? If my decision is being reviewed by an independent body, why I will still have the final say on the decision of that independent body? It is a massive conflict.
Yes.
It is unconstitutional. And I am telling citizens of Trinidad and Tobago today, please do not accept this as our norm.
So
do not accept this as our norm.
So okay. So how do we deal with it, MP?
We're gonna deal with it because all along when I was saying that we should file a constitutional motion challenging all aspects of this state of emergency, and they refuse to do it. Now we have a case going before the Privy Council that will have the same effect of what I have been calling for. Wait and see the outcome of this.
I'm seeing where an international body is looking at the SOE and the strategy of this government using an SOE to fight crime, and they would have talked up. It was in the news. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, that's the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights. They are raising serious concerns. They are raising concerns about the conditions under which these people have to live and the conditions under which they are operating, recognizing the fact that they are not persons that are on criminal charges.
Right.
This country is now being known internationally for violating the constitutional rights of its citizens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's where we reach as a nation.
That is where we reach as a nation. And I refuse to accept that this will now become our new norm moving forward. I refuse to accept that. That is not the country that I am prepared to grow up my daughters in. My daughters must never accept that this is the Trinidad and Tobago that they must live in. We have to live, we have to work towards changing that. Our morals and values are deeper and bigger than that. And I can tell you today, the murder rate is about the same, or it may have gone ahead compared to last year. We continue to have home invasions. We continue to have serious crimes. Criminals are still running amok all over the country. And you know who living in fear now? The very citizens that this state of emergency was meant to protect, according to them.
What I'm seeing tonight on TV6 news, they normally ask a people meter question. They ask the question, do you agree with the Prime Minister that TNT is now safer. And you know what the results was?
Was it 100%?
3% said yes.
Yes.
And 97% say no.
Yeah, the Prime Minister is living in La La Land.
She's delusional.
The Prime Minister, all her ministers are all delusional. And I was shocked to see a Deputy Commissioner of Police today saying that crime is at its lowest and murders is at its lowest. I mean, I was really shocked. I think it is.
They playing politics. They playing politics.
I mean, when when I saw that, I said, but what madness is this I'm reading here?
Yes. I tell you, the people meter question was, do you agree with the Prime Minister that TNT is now safer, is a safe place? Do you believe that TNT is a safe place? Something is wrong with our Prime Minister.
Yeah.
And my thing is, you put out a whole lot of statistics and all kind of thing to try to have people delusional. Delusional. We not delusional like you, madam. Sorry to tell you, we are not delusional like you.
Yeah. That's the madness that we are living in.
Wow. This is amazing. This is amazing. But people are tearing it apart. There are people who are tearing it apart, and there are persons who are looking at this the statement that she put out, because she put out a whole statement about breaking down the murder toll and how is it different to a year ago and what, and there are people who are saying, hey, it is appearing as though the police service is forging the statistics. It is not. This is not adding up.
Well, let me tell you this: the online system to track these things has not been working for the last 6 months, or 8 months,
You okay? Because long time I remember you could have traced from they used to show you count every murder that happened. Yeah.
Where the division, the statistics, the serious crimes, the minor crimes, murders, etc., kidnappings, in the various police districts and divisions. We filed a question asking the minister in the Senate to explain why the police online system has gone down. When he went to the parliament the day before they put it up, and he came to the parliament to boast and say, well, it was up and they were having some problems with the developers and they're doing some maintenance on the website and what have you. Okay. So he came to parliament and said, well, it went up yesterday. The day after he answered the question in parliament, it went offline and never returned again.
Wow. So we have to keep on applying or submitting for freedom of information for things like this.
Mm-hmm. So it's opposition to hold the government to account and to make sure that democracy is alive, to make sure that there's transparency in the way in which we manage ourselves. There's a lot of work,
Yes,
and it's not only for the opposition, it is for activists like yourself, citizens who are concerned about their country. It is for the media. It's our collective responsibility.
Yes.
And it is when we become all alert and we become activists in our own cause, then the government will now have to toe the line. But if we become exhausted, and if we become, we allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by the numerous issues affecting us, then the government, which is what they want. They are trying to weigh us down for us to become exhausted so that we will not ask the questions, we will not keep pushing at them. And once we become exhausted, then they do whatever they want. So I know it is, and this is a call for all citizens that, and PNM people especially, that I know it is difficult work, it's difficult business, but if you have to unplug from time to time to regain your strength and to regain your energy, please do it. But collectively, we will hold this government and we will continue to hold them to account.
Wow. And Gonzalo, are you aware that the nurses were asked to work 3 additional hours?
Mm-hmm.
And the nurse, the Mr. Edie Stewart, and they intend to take the NCWRHA to court.
NCRHA, yeah.
To court for that.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I wasn't aware of it. This is the first time I'm hearing it, and I mean, there's all sectors of the population is under attack. All sectors of the population are under attack by this government, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. They have singled out these nurses as PNM nurses. You know?
Yes. Yeah, the talk show host said it. The talk show host said it. And you know, that's the next thing I have a problem with Mr. MP Gonzal.
Mm-hmm.
That they are using state resources to abuse citizens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not surprised to hear that.
And as we are on that topic, you need to ask for the tape of yesterday's program with Philip Alexander and the talk show host and that they had there. You personally have to request that tape because they made some statements that you could have, they could be libelous for, where you are concerned. I went back.
Philip,
I went back
to me.
I went back for the tape this evening because I wanted to play something for you to hear. They pull it down because they know that what they said have some repercussions to it. So they pull it down. They know that. They know exactly what they said about you. And when they realize what they said, hey, let me pull down that tape. Because if MP Gonzal get a tape, we go lose we job. Or we will end up paying him some money.
And what program was that?
That was the program with Heavy Duty and David Welch. They were interviewing what you name? The minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Alexander. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were interviewing Philip Alexander.
An online program?
Yes, but remember it's Talk City. It's Talk City is the government station that is on YouTube.
Okay.
And when the talk show host asked Mr. Alexander a question about you, Philip and all realized that the statement that the announcer make could get him in some problem. And they pull it down. It is no longer up. But you have the right to talk to Tat or to talk to
request
the...
it.
Yes, to request the tapes.
Mm-hmm. We will talk offline about that.
Yes. I think I feel like tape it, you know. But I'll go back and check and see.
Check it out for me.
Yeah, but apart from that, we as it's rightfully said, we have to keep on fighting. And sometimes I will tell you personally, doing this program Monday to Thursday, it is difficult because sometimes you get weary. Sometimes when you look at what is happening, I really want you, because I realize that you didn't hear the news, and I see the time is going, but I want you to hear. Listen, I want you to listen how the Minister of Health is in total disagreement with what Tim Gopising doing. But we could do.
Yeah?
We listen to the tape. I will listen to it. Listen to the news.
I will listen to it.
I'm gonna play it
All
for
right.
you now. Take a listen to this.
Okay.
Will you feel this place easy?
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is tonight defending her government's handling of the crime situation, saying Trinidad and Tobago recorded 118 fewer murders between January and July 20th this year compared with the same period in 2024. In a statement a short while ago, the Prime Minister posted this image showing murders fell from 331 to 213, crediting the decline to government's crime strategy and police operations under the state of emergency. Persad-Bissessar also claimed the country has seen about 400 fewer murders over the past 2 years than what would have been expected based on murder rates recorded under the previous PNM administration. She added that every police division, even in PNM strongholds, recorded a decline in murders, with the largest drop in the Port of Spain Western and Northern divisions. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is tonight defending her government's handling of the crime situation, saying Trinidad and Tobago recorded 118 fewer murders between January and July 20th this year compared with the same period in 2024. In a statement a short while ago, the Prime Minister posted this image showing murders fell from 331 to 213, crediting the decline to government's crime strategy and police operations under the state of emergency. Persad-Bissessar also claimed the country has seen about 400 fewer murders over the past 2 years than what would have been expected based on murder rates recorded under the previous PNM administration. She added that every police division, even in PNM strongholds, recorded a decline in murders, with the largest drop in the Port of Spain Western and Northern divisions.
That is not. I thought I had it here, Mr. Gonzal. I will find it.
Yeah.
I'll wait to hear it. Because that is something that, I want you to be aware of. Because Mr. Stewart,
I will take a look at it.
Yeah, Mr. Stewart really weighed into them. And he's saying that he's going to take the government to court.
Wow.
He said that he's going to take the government to court because that's advantage. That's advantage. So I thought I had it there, but I didn't download it.
Yeah.
All right. So it's all we had to get into the real gist of one of the reasons why I have you on this evening is because we are seeing where the UNC and this Attorney General, you see, when the Attorney General, this first maiden speech, he said, "I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you." This man made a outright attack on the members of the opposition bench, saying that he is coming for you guys. And we now see where it's not just personal, but it's collective. So we observing where, and I heard you this evening on a program, but I want you to, you have the luxury, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Gonzal, to share with Trinidad and Tobago exactly what is going on. Because there are some people who are worried, they are wondering what is happening where Balize House is concerned.
Okay, so you are right. The Attorney General from the onset, and in one of his first major contributions in the Parliament, declared war on members of the opposition. And I immediately took him to task on Parliament, because when an Attorney General conducts himself, can stand in the Parliament and tell members of the opposition that he's waging war against them, that to me is reasons for the immediate termination of the Attorney General. But he said it in the presence of the Prime Minister, I recall. And I guess he was doing the bidding of the Prime Minister because he continued in office. It simply meant that the Attorney General had the mandate of the Prime Minister to weaponize his office, the office of Attorney General, to go after political opponents. And so when the Attorney General could stand in the Parliament and say that he's going after the 1% and the 1% gang leader and land that they took from the state and all of these things, you have to ask yourself, what really is this opposition, this Attorney General, what is his reason for being in office? It was quite clear that the main reason for the Attorney General being in office is to go after persons who is believed to be or perceived to be opponents of the UNC and supporters of the PNM. As you are aware, and persons who are listening are aware, the Prime Minister has been making disparaging remarks against Balize House for some time. Prime Minister said that Balize House was constructed by drug money, by corruption, all these negative, all these nonsense
things that we wanted to say outside the Parliament. We wanted to say those things outside the Parliament.
She consistently used the privileges of Parliament to make these disparaging remarks against Balize House. So we got up one morning and we heard that the police went to court and they were able to secure a preliminary explain your wealth order. All right. Let me inform or clarify to citizens that in that order, the police made it abundantly clear that it's in relation to the order is in relation to an intended criminal investigations against the construction of Balize House. An intended, not an actual criminal investigation, an intended criminal investigation. But the police is essentially saying in that order, we don't have all the evidence that we need, or we don't have all the information that we need to commence this investigation. So therefore, under the civil asset forfeiture law, we can ask an organization or person certain questions to provide certain information. And then depending on the information provided, we will make a determination as to whether or not to pursue with this intended criminal investigation. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So essentially, the police telling the PNM, provide me with information, certain information. And when I get that information, if I am lucky to get that information, or if I am lucky to get the court to get you to provide me, the police, that information can be used to commence a criminal investigation into you.
So that don't make no sense.
You understand? I don't have it. So I have no evidence against Pastor Google. But I have reason to believe, that based on certain things that I feel Pastor Google, I might want to commence a criminal investigation into Pastor Google. But I don't have the information. You go to the court and say, you know what? Ask Pastor Google to provide me with some information.
Right.
And if I'm able to convince the court to get Pastor Google to provide me with his personal information, that information, after it is reviewed, I can discontinue my intended criminal investigation, or I might want to take it further and say, you know what, let me open up a criminal investigation into the matter. But you are asking someone to provide you with personal and confidential information that you intend to use against them.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm telling you that is what this is all about.
Right.
Right? Now, we would have heard over the last year, the Prime Minister, as I've said, making all kind of wild allegations against Balize House. The report that prompted the police application before the court was a report commissioned by the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago. The Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, who told members of parliament that I am at war with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming after you. The same Attorney General commissioned a report into a political organization represented in the parliament by the same people he pointed to and said, I am in war with you. That report, Pastor Google, is not dated 2025 or 2024. That report is dated the 17th of June, 2026.
Really?
And the report is dated the 27th of June, 2026.
Wow.
And the report is saying, I want to read an excerpt, part of that report, that you see all of these allegations of corruption and money laundering and all kind of thing. We make no finding on that. The Attorney General asked us to present us with information. We did a virtual valuation of the buildings.
Right.
A virtual violation, right? They stay in England and they conducted a valuation without visiting the premises at Balize House. What makes this more interesting is that when the Attorney General got the report dated the 17th of June, 2026, somehow that report ended up a report commissioned by the Attorney General, the political arm of the state. Somehow it ended up in the police service, on the desk of the Commissioner of Police.
Wow.
2 weeks after.
Wow.
And the Commissioner of Police make an application on the same day he received the report, which is the 10th of July, and went to the court on the 10th of July to get a preliminary explain your wealth order. You understand? Nowhere in that report talks about drug and money laundering and all this kind of thing. So you have to ask yourself, what was the Prime Minister referring to when she was using the cover of Parliament to make these wild allegations? What they were relying on to make these allegations? And why it took it June 19th or 16th or 17th, 2026 report that ended up by the police to begin these proceedings against the PNM. But just as in the Hadid we are hearing some startling revelations, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago should stand by to hear more startling revelations on this matter.
And this is why
because this is nothing but political persecution. Weaponizing the office of Attorney General. And I want to ask one question here tonight that I haven't asked before in my previous interviews. Where is the Director of Public Prosecutions in all of this?
Wow.
Why hasn't the Director of Public Prosecutions consulted in all of this? Why was he left out in all of this? What role did he play or did not play in all of this? I'll tell you what. He did not play any role whatsoever. The independent office of Director of Public Prosecutions enshrined in the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's interesting.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I do. Because, there are people who are asking about, okay, so the PNM now have to come out with their books, their accounts, and show, convince the police service that they would have gained the finances legally to build Palisade House and all these different things.
Yeah.
So there are citizens. There are citizens who are now, because that's the narrative that the national station is pushing. So you have Talk City talk show hosts saying, well, what wrong? Well, now we go see now. We will see where Bali go. We will see if PNM accounts adding up. If all the raffle they sell, all the cake they sell, all this they do, all the money that chairman
why are they so concerned about PNM business and where PNM got money? PNM got money from its donors to build Balize House for its members. And you have to ask yourself why that has offended the sensibilities or the sensitivities of the UNC so much. What have they done with the money that they got from their donors? Why can't they provide a suitable place to have their political activities and to house their members? It shows how the UNC thinks of its members. That after 30 or 35 years, they cannot have a suitable place that they call theirs to house their political activities for their membership. You remember it had a big dispute between Jack Warner and a major UNC financier about $30 million.
Oh yes,
that
and
was supposed.
Yes, and Mr. Pandey talk about it and said that Jack financing Kamala campaign.
Right. And that he got money that was supposed to be for the UNC and he take the money to fund Kamala campaign.
Yes.
And then it end up in court and one saying that it was a gift, the other one saying, well, it's you who owe me. That is the UNC business. That is how they conduct their affairs. $30 or $35 million it was. Wow. And Pandey say that Jack got the money for the UNC and never give the UNC.
Never give them it.
And he was all over the country asking Jack about the $35 million that he received.
I remember that.
That was supposed to go in the UNC coffers. You remember that?
Yes.
That is how the UNC conduct their business. And today, they want to come and ask PNM about the books and what we do about with money that we would have received from our donors to build our beautiful Balize house for our members. Nobody living in there. It's not a personal mansion for any PNM official. It is the seat and the symbol of democracy in this country by a serious political organization that cares about Trinidad and Tobago. So they are out of place. They are out of place. And if they're envious of the PNM for building a proper accommodation for its members, because the organization respects its members, then that is not our problem. Go and ask all your political leader and previous political leaders, what have they done with donations that they receive from financiers?
Wow.
And why they can't do something similar to what the PNM did with Balize House. They are fast and they are out of place. Every month, before I get my salary past Google, 5 or 7% of my salary is deducted as contributions for Balize House.
Right.
And that is the same for every member of parliament and every senator. John Jeremy, when he was a PNM Attorney General, the same system applied. That once you hold certain offices in Trinidad and Tobago, representing the PNM in the legislature, deductions are made or are effected in your salary to go towards the full operation of Balize House.
Wow. You know, somebody asking me to ask you if Mr. John Jeremy is still a member of the.
I don't think so. I think he would have his membership would have been revoked.
Okay.
Yes.
That's important, because there
Yeah.
are people who are still saying that a PNM member, PNM lawyer, is the one who is doing all of this to the PNM. Here now, the worst thing is when your own dog bites you, you know.
Boy.
The worst
But-
thing, MP Gonzalez, when you see somebody leave your church and go on to our next church and bad talking your church. Yeah,
You gotta keep, bro, hear this, right? You just have to keep moving on.
Yes.
Just have to keep focus.
Yes.
You feel if I take on the things that they say about me on this political landscape, I could do this job that I'm doing?
Never.
I just keep focused on the job that I'm doing, my brother.
Never. Never. And I must tip my hat off to all of you, because the things that they say, the things that they put out there, the way they want to the way they behave, it just says a lot. It says a lot. It says a lot. And I must compliment you guys. You all have real courage and strength, boy. Real courage and strength to do what you all are doing. And you have heard persons now really commending you, because you have been the voice and the face of making statements and putting out the facts about what is happening with Balize House and what is happening, you know, and you and I'm seeing where you are more like the person that is bringing everybody together. All the descending voices that would have had the worst to say about the political leader still have the worst to say about the political leader, but you have been the middleman of saying, here what? I am the chief whip, I am the chairman of the party, and I will speak on behalf of the party on issues that is happening where Balize House is concerned.
Pastor Google, I have taken up on that as my personal responsibility. The role of a chairman the office of chairman must be a symbol of stability.
Right.
It must be a symbol of unity.
Right.
It must be a symbol of equity. It must be a symbol of humility. It must be a symbol of fairness. I know a lot of my colleagues are not happy because I have decided to walk the straight and narrow and walk down the center. For PNM to get back into power, there must be the coming together of the entire movement.
Right.
No one part is more important than the other. There must be a coming together of the entire movement. There must be respect for authority from all members. And I am not saying that we have to like each other in order for there to be unity. No. I may have my views about a lot of people, but the preservation of order within the party is paramount. And therefore, as long as I occupy the office of chairman, with the support of the membership, I will use and I will do everything. I will say what I need to say to bring everyone together. Until the last day when PNM people say, well, we had enough of you as chairman, it's time to pass on the baton to someone else. But I'm making this call tonight again, that in order for the PNM to prevail, we have to put aside our differences and unite around a common cause to save our party and to defend our country.
Yes. Yes.
Because if we don't do that, the only thing that stands between the UNC or Trinidad and Tobago and peril is the PNM.
Very true.
And the UNC is fully aware of that. The PNM has been in government for years, you know. The think tank of the PNM, the experience of our membership inside and outside of this parliament is far and wide, you know. There are persons who have lost their seats or who, for one reason or the other, may not. They would have served in government and they would have contributed to Trinidad and Tobago and the party over the years. We can't cast these people aside. The experience that these people would have gathered through the PNM. I mean, you can't go to a store and buy that on a shelf, you know, Pastor.
No, you can't. And I could talk for me. When I got the privilege to serve on a board in on SAPA, and I was a part of different committees, the HR committee, different committees, and the skill sets, the skills that I have learned, Mr. Gonzal, from being on those boards, on that board, I don't think I would have learned that anywhere else. And I personally want to thank Dr. Rowley for giving me the honor and the privilege to serve. And
I feel the same way. I grew up in a rural community in Paramin. I went to ordinary school, and I would not have served in high office had it not been for the PNM. I would not have been educated and been provided with the opportunities had it not been for the policies and programs of the PNM. And so many other people, thousands of people that can speak like me, whose lives have been positively impacted by the People's National Movement.
Yes.
Let me repeat again. As long as I am chairman of the PNM, my office will be utilized to bring everyone together.
And I will work with you to do such on this platform. I want us to take some calls before you go. I know that you have to go.
Yes.
But I just want to take...
I have an interview at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I know. Let's take some calls quickly and
yes.
then I'll allow you to go. But again, I want to thank you very much, MP, for being with me this evening.
Of course,
because you have brought a level of peace and calmness. There's 1,464 persons.
Wow. Don't make joke.
I will send you it. I will send it at the end.
Wow.
I'll send it at the end. For you to look and see the impact that this platform have. This platform, MP, as I said to you before, was created. I developed this for this purpose. To educate and to inform the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension Trinidadians outside of Trinidad and Tobago, on what is happening in this country. Let's take our first call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Hey, Miss Arima, how are you going?
I am going good. Having heard Mr. Gonzalez on your program tonight, it has done a lot. What I appreciate to hear him say, that he's there to bring back the PNM together. And I do hope that PNM people is learning their lessons and decide to get together as one. There was a time when Dr. Williams said that the only way PNM could lose an election, PNM people must vote against PNM. And that is what is happening and has happened every time we lose an election. Mr. Gonzalez, one thing I would like you to do is to speak to Mr. Ashton Ford and ask him to stop going out in public and damaging the political leader and the party. And also that guy on I-95.5 who since after the election has nothing good to say about the political area, please ask them to stop it.
Yeah.
And the Indian lady who is running the country, you all could address her as by her name, but please don't put no honorable before it. I'm begging you all, no honorable. Give her the respect as Mr. So-and-so, but keep the honorable for better times. So may God bless you. And I wish you and my party all the best. God bless.
All right.
God bless you too. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, MP.
Good evening. How you doing?
Not too bad, brother. Pastor Google is unfortunate that I had to go on to my former colleague and lecture only on your platform because he
Me
doesn't
getting involved.
he,
Only ain't get me
he
involved
doesn't
now. Don't get me
doesn't
involved.
Mr.
he doesn't respond to my messages on other social media when I message him and so on. When I send him information about my progress that he is responsible in some way for me going forward, he didn't respond and so on. But that's nothing. He's still my brother and friend, and I know why he will hold that beef against me. I was partly responsible for him making his first bad case, and for that I know I apologize.
Mr. Springer, behave yourself.
Glad you know. I'm glad you pick up on the voice, so that
I
I wouldn't be held responsible for his bad behavior.
I apologize. No, but I just but my brother knows I am greatly proud of him. We would have had discussions a long time ago, 30 years ago, and he was single-minded and focused with the small team that he had. Our late brother, Mr. Jordan, and
Yes, correct.
another colleague, Mr. Constance, and all four of us were very singular and minded in what we wanted to do going forward
Very
professionally.
focused. Very
And
focused.
just that they were able, the MP was able to take it to a place that we didn't even see him going. In fact, and he could tell you this candidly, I was looking for MP to end up in the judiciary. I told them that early on in the game.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
So the turn into politics was a real surprise to me. But anyhow, I'll get to the meat of the matter, right? MP Pastor didn't ask you, but we out here want to know, supporters want to know, when, along with the treasurer and yourself, you all will be going after the UNC party, not the government, the UNC party, for what is owed to the PNM, for all those matters they dragged you all to the Privy Council for and lost, and have to pay costs, right? That's one, because people don't understand those matters are separate from the political affairs of the government UNC, but it's not
true.
It is in the party's interest. So we had to see how solvent they are. They want to know about the PNM's solvency. Well, you all also have it in your capacity to question their solvency. And I am saying that what is before us, this is my opinion, what is before us with the whole Hadid matter is that they are saying to MPs, to 13 opposition MPs, listen, don't go out there and play stupid. There's what we have waiting for you. So when I hear people saying that in the moment you all are missing the mark, for me, it's not about missing the mark, but it's using Machiavelli and Sun Tzu on them, because that is what they want to do. Because they know that if they could cow the opposition into PDOs and have them detained, there's nothing in Parliament to stop them. Especially people like yourself, Port of Spain South, Port of Spain North, MP Romain, and Mrs. Robinson Regis. They know in terms of experience and in delivery in Parliament and asking questions, you already heartbeat of what needs to be asked, even MP Imbert. And they know that if they want to have their way totally, all they have to do is say PDOs are against you all. So I understand the careful strategy that you all are using. But I just want to tell you, don't give up the fight. Strategize, because you didn't waste all them years in CID not knowing how to do what we should call it discreet and meticulous inquiries, taking urgent and compelling evidence to convince the court. And the court they are to convince is the court of right-thinking citizens going forward who love this place called Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks for the opportunity. I'll listen off here.
All right. Hello.
Thank you, my dear brother Springer. Springer, but you should have my number. Get it from Pastor.
Don't study here. Hello, good evening.
Yeah.
Hi. Good night.
Good evening.
Good evening to Mr. Gonzalez.
Good evening.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Hi.
continue these
Good evening, sir.
in bringing the PNM together, because this infighting had to stop, right? And I hope that you continue with the job, and we could, get our act together and fight against our common enemy, which is the UNC. But I have a question to ask you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Sure.
I know you're probably not part of the PR, but what steps are you thinking to improve on the PR or the PNM?
Well,
because some people always
Well, I heard him make a statement earlier on about having tongue meetings, and he's going to be having more tongue meetings and inviting persons to come and chat, and he will be sharing and stuff like that, and the councillors and the members of parliament or the shadow members or whoever.
Yes.
So I know that he would have said that. I don't know if he has anything else he has in store.
I think the caller is more referring to the overall PR strategy of the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is something that we are looking at seriously. Of course, your PR strategy cannot be divulged to your political opponents, but I just want to give you the assurance that we have recognized that to be something that we have to back up on. We need to do better, and we need to use the landscape of social media to communicate a lot of our information. We have started the process. We have made some good progress, in my respectful view. The videos that you will see some being done by a lot of our members of parliament, myself included, is not something that you would have seen in the PNM 2 or 3 years ago. So I just want to give you the assurance that we will and we are continuing to look at areas that we are falling short, and also remember that this requires voluntary work by our members. It takes a lot of money, and if you don't have volunteers, if you don't have volunteers, you have to find the money to pay people. So I know Pastor Google is laughing. So a lot of people talk about your PR and your PR and your PR, but when time for the rubber to hit the road, it takes money.
Mr. The reason why I'm laughing is because up to this weekend, I told them last night, I said I had a terrible weekend, Mr. Gonzal. My weekend wasn't nice this weekend, because when I have been doing this program, and then you hearing people saying that the PNM sponsored this program, and you as the chairman could openly and say it here with no fear. You could tell them that the PNM don't sponsor this.
No, but that is an example of what you are doing, Pastor, is the example of volunteerism.
Okay.
Voluntary work.
Okay. Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Good evening to your listeners and callers. And good evening to you, MP Gonzalez.
Good evening, sir.
MP Gonzalez, while we can, sometimes make little light of what is going on at times, the matters before us, as far as I am concerned, is a cloak for exactly what is happening and transpiring in the country today under this present government. Because you see, Pastor Google, Dr. Keith Rowley, former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, just before the last election, made a statement that 80% of the revenue streams that come into Trinidad and Tobago, which is very important, is coming especially from the downstream industries. Today, 2 of those major downstream industries, Nutrient and Methanex, are shut down. Workers have been sent home. There's, in other words, the revenue streams to bring in forex into Trinidad and Tobago is now further limited. And you're not hearing anything from the Prime Minister. You're not hearing anything from the Minister of Energy. People are not understanding that there's little or no natural gas to keep the country going. She is using what has transpired in Venezuela as an opportunity to get back into the good graces of Delcy Rodriguez in an attempt to go on behind our backs and beg for gas. And at the same time, want to bring data centers that will be using a lot of electricity. And what fuels our electricity is natural gas. And people are not understanding this. And I'm asking the question because everything you look at, that is, the PNM has built over the years, the foundations that they have laid, is being slowly and methodically being eroded away as though it doesn't matter. It's unimportant. Two major companies have shut their doors in Point Lisas. There's a problem for foreign exchange. You can't even go by the banks to get foreign exchange at this point in time. And they are taking from our HSF fund, which will be discussed on Friday on I-95.5 by Mariano Brown, because he too is concerned. And his team. It will be discussed on Friday morning. And it is important and imperative that the listeners and the people of Trinidad and Tobago listen and look at these things. Because what this present government is trying to do is to throw a cloak over the real issues that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. They are using up our foreign net reserves in order to attempt to show that they can afford to pay salaries and they can afford to keep the country going. But we are going into a position whereby things are not very good at all. And people have to look at it, because when you have $1 billion and $800 million coming into the system, and we don't know where it's going, you have to ask yourself certain questions. Who's going to pay for that? People must remember in 2015, Danishar Mahabir, when the UNC lost the election, we did not realize and recognize that the then UNC between 2010 and 2015 had borrowed over $33 billion.
All right.
And this time it is worse. And we must not lose sight of what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago. And you all must continue to remind the people, because these little things go past the small man.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
And let us know exactly what is happening with our monies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I know that MP has to leave now. So I know that we have a meeting that is happening this Thursday, MP. And I really want you to highlight that meeting. And for all the persons who are on the live, we have reached the 1,618.
Wow.
To all the persons who are on the live, I want you to encourage them to come to that meeting.
So this public meeting in defense of the PNM, Balize House and democracy, it's a very important and pivotal meeting in our parliamentary and democratic evolution, because it is the first time, perhaps in the history of the Commonwealth or the history of the Caribbean, where one political party is going after the headquarters of its political opponents.
Yeah.
This is a very serious development, and it shows a continued attack on democracy in Trinidad and Tobago by this UNC government. Balize House stands as a symbol of progress, a symbol of democracy, a symbol of freedom, a symbol of a party that is committed and has always been committed to the rebuilding and the building of Trinidad and Tobago from a colonial state to a post-colonial society, going into an independent sovereign nation, and to republicanism. All of these things were done in some way or the other by discussions emerging out of Balize House. So it is not no easy and simple symbol. It represents Trinidad and Tobago, whether or not you are a supporter or a member of the PNM. And therefore, I want to ask all of our citizens, all our viewers and listeners, that it is important to make the sacrifice and come down to number 1 Tranquility Street in Port of Spain. You don't have to dress in red. You don't have to dress in red. You can dress in whatever color you choose to. But once you are a citizen, just come down and make yourself present. And let us show a united force against the government, that we will stand up against tyranny, we will stand up against political intimidation, and we will stand up against the attacks on our democracy. Thursday should be a defining moment in the politics of Trinidad and Tobago. And we ought not to allow this crisis to go without making use of it. Because in every crisis, there are opportunities. And in this particular crisis, this is our opportunity as a party and as a country to come together in unity to defend our country, to defend our democracy. And that is how we should see it. Whether you are a supporter of the PNM or not, this issue is bigger than the People's National Movement.
Very true.
And so I thank you very much. And I want to thank all of the viewers and listeners who would have stayed on to listen to this conversation. I hope that all of you find it enlightening. And I just want to give you the commitment that I will continue to do my part to safeguard our collective interests in Trinidad and Tobago. And I will use the offices that I occupy, not only as chairman of the party, but as a member of parliament. I will use my voice and my platform to speak in defense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I sent you something to show you the sacrifice. The sacrifice. I will let you see it. That's the sacrifice. When you see it, tell me you're looking at it.
Yes.
That's the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice.
Wow. All right, don't worry.
That is the sacrifice. No, I want you to understand, MP, that when people lie on you and they say you getting sponsor your program, this platform is sponsored by the PNM. The hierarchies of the parties who paying for me to be on. And you don't hold it in your hand. The evidence that, and you of all persons know that what they're saying there have no truth to it.
Pastor, all I can tell you, keep smiling.
Yeah, man.
Keep staying strong.
Yes, sir.
Keep staying focused.
Yes, man.
And continue to surround yourself by good energies.
Like Mr. Springer. Like your brother, Mr. Springer.
Correct.
Trust me on that. Like my big brother, Mr. Springer. And even this court, and this fella who waited to talk, but he can't talk to you because I know I have to let you go. But even this brother.
Yeah. Let's continue that focus, bro. And all shall be well.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. I'm gonna send you the after in the morning you would see it. How much persons you would see the stats of how much persons was on the live and stuff like
Yes.
that, so that you'll have an
Thank you,
idea of the impact that you would have had this evening.
Thanks, brother, and thanks for the opportunity.
You're most welcome.
I couldn't do this without you.
Yeah, well,
And you know, one of the callers talk about PR
Yeah.
and our PR strategy and machinery. What we have done here tonight is an example of good PR.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Okay, brother.
All right. You continue to talk.
Take care. Have a good one.
Yeah, man.
Blessings
God
to you.
bless. All right.
Thanks
bye-bye.
again.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Hello, good evening, caller.
Good afternoon, Pastor.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. Pastor, I don't believe you should minister why I think you should, I mean, the MP, why I think you should, Pastor?
What are you talking about?
We both know what you're talking about. I don't believe you should the MP that,
I didn't know you talking about. I didn't know you talking about.
We in the red.
No, but if they say they sponsor the program, if people saying they sponsor the program, I want them to see that they're not sponsoring anything. Nothing.
I said, I don't believe Pastor should this man that.
Yes. Let them see it. Why not? Why? Me hear you.
There's a show, the show you talk about. You know me, I don't miss much. I listen to that show and I sit down and listen. And I can tell you, you need to. I think you informed the MP about it. The timeline for that show is 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
See, you listen to the program too.
I don't miss anything. You have to know how the other side think, you know. Anyhow, the timeline for that show is 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
All right.
That will be July the 20th.
Okay, well,
However,
send it to me in a message.
Yeah, I was saying to you. However, you want to pay attention to 4:45 p.m. to 5:43.
You ain't easy, boy. You are that dog pack. You know exactly what time the man say anything, boy.
I don't miss these things. I live for these things.
He can make our money. He can make our money there, no?
No. Pastor, you know how long I want to catch him. I watch now. I sit on there for months like a big snake. Yes, you know how long I want to catch him. You know how long I want to catch him.
Well, listen to me now. They pull it down, you know. They take it down, you know.
They can do what they want. It's out there, okay?
Yeah, boy. Somebody had that out there, boy. Somebody had that, boy.
When I start talking to the ministerial, this thing going little right, but the next one, you know, he do right, so he just fly off the top of his head. The little one now, he a little more bright. He realized what the minister saying. He saw back off. But the next one now, he not that bright, so he just had to fly off. I say, yes, just talk.
Even the woman who made the statement, who live in Madras Road.
Yeah.
Hey, I have it to know. I have it to know.
She invite. No, I invite you. I sit on there.
Hey, but you know I have it.
Right, I have it. Saying to him, let him pay through the teeth.
I know, realize I have it, boy.
I know you. Pastor, I don't know where you can miss that because just like me, you don't miss much.
Yeah, boy, I have it.
Send it to him.
I will send it to him.
Yeah.
I will send it to him.
Let him pay through the teeth.
All right, brother. All right.
You shock? You shock? I had that. How I get my heart?
I have it here.
All right. You wanna pay attention from 4:47 p.m. to 5:42 p.m. Yeah, when the fly off now.
Yeah, the fly off the handle.
They feel in a bar somewhere, but no, you're not in a bar. You have a station. You calling the people name with no regard. I have no proof to half anything they're saying. So you go straight to them.
Yeah, I will show you just now.
Yeah, let him pay. Yeah,
chill
make some space. You want to show it now?
I will show you just now.
All right, I'll make space.
All right, man. Yeah, I didn't even realize I had the recording, you know. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good evening.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gonzalez.
He just left.
I want to say thanks very much to him because we are getting water now. I don't have to complain. I hear you complaining, Pastor Google, in Trinidad.
Yes, I
But
complain
now we are
now.
getting water every week.
So I feel like
Thank
to
you
come.
very much, sir. And I must say sorry that he has left.
Yeah,
And
but he
didn't
listening.
get
He
me.
listening. He's listening.
I'm very, very thankful for putting that booster in
Palaseco.
oh my God, I can't remember. In oh Lord, Woodland.
Woodland.
Thank
Okay.
you very, very much. May God bless you, and I thank you again. Good night.
Well, I taking the blessing, you know. Mr. Paria, I taking the blessing. How your son going?
He's good. He's good time.
He sleeping already?
Only hanging on to penance.
He sleeping already, or he still listening?
Yeah, no, he's asleep. He's asleep, but he's hanging on to penance.
And his wife?
I don't know what. You don't know why?
No, I said on his wife.
She's good. She's very good. She's up with the kids.
All right, tell her say good night, and I miss her calls.
You too. Have a blessed night, and can tell my son I say all the best for the new term.
I will tell him that for you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
And tell your daughter-in-law I say I miss her calls.
All right. I'll do that.
All right.
Thanks, Pastor.
Okay, then. Bye-bye. All right. So taking some calls. 464-7003. What are your thoughts about the program this evening? What do you think I should have asked Mr. Gonzal? Look, somebody telling me, play it, Pastor Google, play it. Only like drama. What is all your thoughts about the interview this evening? I tell you, here now the Prime Minister saying, do you agree with the Prime Minister? Do you agree with the Prime Minister that TNT is now a safe place? Eh? Something wrong with this lady. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
And to all your viewers listening. I saw that the minister had to leave. I just
The
wanted
MP?
to ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sorry, the MP, which is my MP actually. He's my MP. I'm in his constituency.
Oh, sorry
my
about
MP
that.
had to leave.
Sorry about
That,
that. He has an interview.
I wanted to
He has an interview for 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
so
I understand. I understand. But I wanted to ask him, at least in the meeting on Thursday evening, would the party give us a status report in terms of the percentage of the renovation of Balize House?
When you
How
see the
much is
percentage.
completed? How much is outstanding?
No, well, Balize House is finished, you know. It's the car park next door that isn't finished.
Oh, the car park. Oh, the
building of
is finished.
itself, Balize House building of itself, is completed.
Okay then. I thought that construction had stopped because finances.
No, well, the
had run low or
construction
something like that.
construction of the car park would have stopped.
Okay then.
Because you remember they were building, they have a next door to Balize House, there is a car park where they have a 3-story or 5-story car park. And in that car park they would have put like, you know, booths and things for entrepreneurs who want to you know, sell stuff, but they have the levels to the car park and stuff like that. That is what was stopped. But Balize House of itself was opened by Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, man.
All right.
I was there at that
man.
opening.
Wonderful, man. And just one more thing, I reiterate what Mr. Simpleton called and said earlier. We need the chairman of the party, my MP, to really go after, organize his legal team. We need to get the money that is owed to us in all the election petitions that we won.
Yes.
So since 2015, they owe us multi-millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars they owe us. And yes, I would have asked it at a press conference with the opposition leader, and she did say that they were having a meetings, the lawyers and everybody were having meetings on pursuing those monies.
But even so, as you mentioned lawyers though, on Dominic's program on Sunday, he said, in terms of certain matters of what they plan to undergo litigation against the government, he said many lawyers are afraid to take up some of their suggestions.
But Mr. Gonzalez said it. Mr. Gonzalez said it here a while ago. He said that there are some, and there are reasons for that. There are reasons for that. My father made me bold enough as an elder to say why. But Mr. Gonzalez is not at liberty to say why. But my father, the next time I have him on, I know that he will be at liberty to say why. The reality of it is, and it's not just lawyers, sir. Not just lawyers. You know how long I've been trying to start my youth program on this platform? You know how long I've been trying? You know what's the problem why young people are not... They are together. There is a group of them, but you know why they don't want to come out? Because half of them working in the government sector. Half of them are on contracts in the government, are contracted to work in the government sector. 1, 2, some of them, they have their businesses, and some of them businesses, they get contracts from the government. And for them to push out their head and say what they have to say or how they feel or what this, or they would get victimized. We see how this government victimizing people.
Right. I understand. So
up to Friday, I was talking to a young lady, who's a part of the group. She is, but she said to me, she said, Pastor Google, my contract is up for renewal. Is that for me to come on Critical Thinkers platform and I bash in the government, and then when my contract come up for renewal, they say, nah, you just be on a platform. They won't tell you that, but they don't know already. Nah, I
understand. I just hope that going forward from the meeting Thursday evening, that they start to take the manifesto from last year and they start to expound and tell the population right.
Okay. Well,
that's how we're going to fix this problem.
Yeah, I don't think they will be dealing with that, the manifesto on Thursday. I think on Thursday they would more deal with Palisade House and
I agree.
And alleviate people's fear as what he would have done this evening on the litigation and they imagine the police is asking them for information to what nonsense. But again,
no, they should reject the police. They should not give them any financial information just like that. Let the government prove whatever evidence they say they have of drug money built by the J House. Let them prove that. They made the allegation. They have to bring the proof that they have it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good evening,
good evening,
sir.
Pastor.
How are
yes,
you?
Sir. I'm okay, man. Very good program as usual, Pastor Google. Very good program. And what I would like to find out, Pastor Google, is what time on Thursday, please God, what is the starting time?
The meeting starts, I believe, it's at 7.
7 p.m. Right. One more thing I would like to say, Pastor Google. I was very pleased with the that having the MP making time to come on this program that you're having here, and I would love to see a lot of other MPs, Pastor Google, come and give their input give their support.
Tell me which MP you want to see come.
I would love to hear, from the bottom of my heart, I would love to hear the goodly lady, Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis. I would love to hear Camille.
All right, but she's out of the country at the moment because she has a death in her family.
Okay, if not Camille Robinson Regis, I will also love to hear my MP, Mr. Carm Imbir.
All right, Mr. Imbert has always told me that anytime I'm ready for him, just let him know and he will come on.
Pastor Google, I will love my MP, Mr. Imbert, to come. So please, when I get a chance, ask him if he could come on. And this, as we're doing here, Pastor Google, is a good way to start the PR engine of the PNM running. Okay. And one more thing before I leave, Pastor Google.
Who else you want to see come on?
Yeah, I would love to see as much MPs as possible. Even Pastor Google, Mr. Stuart Young.
Okay.
The former Prime Minister, I would love to see Mr. Young there.
All
the
right.
people, this is one of, right now, Pastor Google, and you should know this, that your program here is one of the greatest, is one of the best programs right now that the PNM has. And we need to strengthen it. We need to strengthen it. We need to start this PR journey in January. And from now, we cannot wait because the country is in crisis, Pastor Google. And I would like to ask, when we have chance, I don't know if anybody could assist me with this, this call center or data center where they're trying to, can they have any legal ramifications to deal with that at this moment? Because I am hearing, and when I'm doing my research, the amount of hazards it is to the environment and to the people and the citizens of this country. I would love to know if there can be any legal ramifications that the people can be facing pertaining to that. I would love to know that, right? But other than that, Pastor Google, good show as usual. I'll look on and listen, my brother. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, I have to be honest. I did ask Mr. Imbert if he will come on, and Mr. Imbert did reply to me. He did say to me, "Yeah, man, I come in on Constructive Talk." He said he heard about Constructive Talk and he is willing to come on. So I will ask Mr. Imbert, I will ask Mr. MP Young, and I will ask, well, when Miss Regis comes back from when Miss Regis is back, I will ask Miss Regis also. So yeah, caller, it's not that I have a problem with it. I could do that, man. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. I just called back just to mention. I think you need to make a day to have a particular day in the week that you work to have for Tobago. We need Lawrence Hislop to come back on, Mr. Hislop to come back on. We need the head of the PNM Council in Tobago to come back on.
All right, so listen to this. I will ask Mr. Hislop, I'm not saying I wouldn't ask him. I will ask Mr. Hislop. But I know that Mr. Hislop has a business. Right? And one of the things he talks to me as a brother, and he says that, he doesn't want to jeopardize his business because they are very vindictive out there.
Right.
But I will ask him. I will ask Shamfa. I will have a word with Shamfa on Thursday, and I will have. I don't know the other. Well, she will have to introduce me to the other persons on the PNM Council in Tobago. Yeah. All right. So I will reach out. I am not going to say I would not reach out. I will reach out to the PNM Council in Tobago and hear what they have to say.
No problem. Thank you, man. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Same to you. I will do the honorable thing, as the caller said, and reach out to the relevant authorities and see if I can get them to come in. What? 662 persons still on the live? All right. Well, I'm taking some calls. 464-7003. 464-7003. All right. You all can touch base. Give me a call. If I don't get any call in the next minute. Gosh, I'm not going to say I'm not finished there. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you, Pastor.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Sorry, I didn't get to catch the minister while he was on, but I know he has some meeting in the morning.
Why will I keep saying minister? The man is an MP. He was a minister.
Former minister. I forget the word former minister. Right?
Well, easy now. And you know what? I just see it on some of the newspaper articles. I just watch it on social media where people still call him minister.
Yeah. Well, he deserves to be one, Deserves to be one and will be one again soon to come.
I hear you.
Leave that there.
Talk to me.
After good program this evening.
You find so?
Good program and again the machinery.
Coming from you. People like you telling me it's a good program. I have to take that with a pinch of salt.
Excellent program. Good interview with the former minister.
and the member of parliament.
So talk to me. What's going on?
So, I was listening to when you were speaking about that conflict of interest, regarding the PDO. And we're looking at an emergence of a constitutional crisis where that is concerned.
Yes.
That might arise in the future.
In the future, I done it already.
Yeah, because that tribunal, if it was set up constitutionally to deal with persons who would have been, find themselves afflicted with a PDO, then if they have to answer to the same minister, that is a conflict of interest. And that should be brought to the national attention, and we need to do something about that very quickly. Something has to be amended somewhere, because you can't have a tribunal set up for that purpose, and then the same minister could say that, you don't want to hear that. Their recommendation and their findings. Where are we going with this foolishness? That has to stay on the front burner in the national interest.
Okay.
And, I really wanted to hear the comments of the minister on where that was concerned. And I asked myself, Pastor, where are the legal luminaries in this country?
The legal luminaries want to get briefs.
You come straight to my point. Thank you for.
I didn't want to say it just now, but that's the reality of it. The legal luminaries, my father, I want no brief. If my father wanted that brief, you think he'd be on my program? Let's be real. Not talking, we talking here.
No,
we talking is after it's after 11 in the night. Let them tape we. You really think? Let me ask, and that's why I do what I do, and that's why I am who I am, because my father has always been a strong man in my life. You understand? My father has I've never seen my father bow. I've never seen him allow his friends and them to tell him, boy, Dave, boy. Don't
say that. Don't go and do that. Leave that alone.
I've never seen. I remember my father used to be working for a certain organization, and it was a church organization, and the president of the church organization tell my father, he said, hey, is we paying you?
Wow.
So you have to say what we tell you to say. And my father turned and say, you not paying me, it's God paying me. I will never forget that. And my father resigned from the organization and walked away from the organization.
That is how men should operate.
So my thing is, and I grew up seeing him doing things like that. So that's why you really think he have to come on till 11 o'clock? He just want to talk till 12 o'clock. Sharing the Constitution, your rights, the laws, all them different things. You really feel he should be doing that? He should be hushing him out and waiting for brief. I have an aunt who's a senior counsel. And if I only ask my aunt, say, auntie, come on the program. She come in. You see, only thing, I just find daddy rough. Only wouldn't like to hear my aunt.
Well, I would like to. We're on the program, man.
You only wouldn't like to hear my aunt. My aunt don't care about no PDO and them thing, you know. She might be the first senior counsel to get a cup. And I'm sure she listening and she laughing.
Wow.
But I don't want that for her. I don't want that for my aunt. But the reality of it is that I grew up in a family with lawyers. I went to study law. But this UNC government pulled the scholarship.
Wow. Pastor, that I've seen a scenario here that is emerging. Besides what we just talked about there, what happened in the last incarnation when the UNC was in government, where we have a former attorney general lock up some men, put them in jail, and it's the same attorney general, when he come out of office, representing them same brother,
Yes.
against the state.
Yes.
Would that be the case of all these people who
Well,
don't have the resources, as you're talking about with the Hadids, don't have the resources, will be taking leave from that because the precedence is inside the system now. Will that we see an emergence of that taking place again when the state of emergency has been terminated, if it's ever terminated, and the rate they're going?
The rate they're going, this thing is going to look as though it's going to terminate at all,
Yeah, because we ask the question that the Prime Minister, is the place safer? Which is
well, if she's saying
no, if she's
saying no, wait, just no, this is an oxymoron now, If the question I was asked by TV6 was, do you agree with the Prime Minister that TNT is now a safe place? Miss Bissessa is saying that TNT is now a safe place. Then she needs to lift the SOE. Because you had 3% of people say yes, but 97% say no.
Yeah, and they're quite correct on point, because if on that state of emergency,
man get gunned down by the gas station. Tonight I hear a man get gunned down in Mova by a grocery. A youth man went to check a little woman in a Rima, end up dead. Only leave me alone now. Last how much weeks ago, a man get execution style in St. Madeleine where I live with a few doors somewhere I live in. And we in a SOE.
Constituency? What about her in her own constituency?
A man by a rum shop. A man by a rum shop a little way from by where she living, get gunned down.
I mean, you might think that there's a level of safety where the Prime Minister is staying, or where your constituency is, but it's happening all over the place.
All over the place.
The question is being asked whether
all over the place.
Is a safe place.
Yeah. But listen to me,
It's not safe.
When you wake up and smell the coffee,
Oh, yeah.
You wake up and smell the coffee. Something wrong. Here, it had a coffee place in Port of Spain when you're walking up by on Frederick Street and Abercrombie Street, just smelling the coffee strong. Well, that was Hong Wing.
I believe so. Yeah.
Hong Wing. Hong Wing coffee.
Oh,
smell it.
Gosh.
Smell it strong in tongue. When Hong Wing grinding the coffee, it is a smell. I don't know if after a while I smell it. It is a smell strong in tongue.
Oh yes, that is true.
We need to smell Hong Wing coffee again. Because this Hong Wing coffee, stop smelling in tongue like everybody is zombie.
So the second thing I wanted to say, well, I'm glad that you found the video, that those guys were discussing on the program about the MP. I'm happy that they found the video. I ain't played it yet for me, but I'm still waiting.
I have it here.
And, the thing about that is that video is pulled down. But it reminds me of because in all the discussion with the MP, we're talking about the Commissioner of Police who wanted to investigate Balize House the same day that he got the report.
Yes.
But the video about his inaugural speech, they can't find it. Because if in that, I remember what he said, and I'll paraphrase and say, part of what he said is that he is taking instructions from the state. That's why we can't find that video. Only go and look for the video.
I
don't understand why I can't find that video.
All right, I know what to do. Okay.
I can't see what the content of that video is very specific what he said.
I'll go find
when I heard that, I look at my wife and I say, you hear what you just said? You heard what that man just said? That is this inaugural speech as Commissioner of Police. You hear what he said? A place that's supposed to be totally independent of the state. Only when we come under SOE and state that sort of arrangement, that certain things will take place. But the Commissioner of Police can see taking instructions on the state, then the office of the Commissioner of Police is no longer independent.
I'll have to look for that.
My gosh. Yes, we discussed that the last time I was on here, Pastor. And you have a video for me, the speech
from the
Prime
PM.
Minister in the President House.
Yeah, I will find it. I will get it for you. Just WhatsApp me video now so I can know it's you.
Very well, Pastor. And
Right,
that is my contribution this evening. I'm waiting for you to play this video. So
I'm going to play it now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Only want to know why people PDO and why these lawyers are talking. Money. They want to get briefs.
All right, so moving along, we see PNM former General Secretary being served for the investigation surrounding Balancing House and their accounts. And then we had a statement that we had played here from Marvelous Marvin Gonzalez saying that he will not be moved and they will not be exposing their accounts. And David Welch?
I read that, but when I read that, I heard a saying that I've known my whole life. I have bigger cock than he crow and end up in Pilau. So
he's just bluffing.
But that's a bluff. This is not a PNM UNC thing.
Right.
This is an order of the court.
Court, correct. Right.
So what is Marvin Gonzalez saying? That the PNM is going to be in contempt of court? Go down that road. We will get our popcorn out. You and Foster, go down that road. You want to play smart with stupidness?
Right.
You want to chain up? Tell your followers that it is not the UNC doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It is an order of the court. You were served a court order document.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to violate that, we are watching. It is going to be entertaining, to say the least. Set a precedent. Go, Marvin. Contempt of court. That's the truth. That's the reality. The PNM has nothing. Every time they dip their hand into their bag of tricks, they're pulling out air. There's nothing left. They've done all of it. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago has seen that all they did was enrich their friends. There were people who were millionaires when the PNM took office in 2015 who are billionaires today. There are people who didn't have a parrot on a stick who are millionaires today. And they took advantage. It was the largest transfer of public assets to private ownership in our history. Took place under Keith Rowley. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago have to be damn upset. What took place? And I don't want to speak about any sub judice matters. Camille Robinson, Regis, and them, they're free. All of you who think that before, when you were in government, when you had responsibility, you respected the rule of law, you have to continue to respect the rule of law now. Trinidad is a republic, a nation ruled by law. You wanted to ask me about Marcano Quarry.
Marcano Quarry, thank you, that's the name of it. Yes, Laventel. What's happening
John,
there?
John, Canada.
Yeah, what's happening there?
Well, the question, you see, every time...
All right, so moving along, we see PNM former General Secretary being served for the investigation surrounding Balancing House and their accounts. And then we had a statement that we had played here from Marvelous Marvin Gonzalez saying that he will not be moved and they will not be exposing their accounts. And
You out of place, heavy duty. You out of place on the government station. On the government station, heavy. Boy, Mr. Gonzalez should deal with you. Will deal with you. You heavy. You want to call people names? You will get served. Go ahead. Will you go ahead? And be out of place. Let me say thank you to all of you for being with me this evening on Constructive Talk. Thanks very much to MP Marvin Gonzalez for being on and sharing the information that he did share. And we talk to you guys tomorrow. Please God, have a blessed night.
The information provided by the speakers and or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind. express or implied regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
Coming soon to Constructive Talk Network, Critical Thinkers. It's a youth show with a youth perspective on current affairs and issues in Trinidad and Tobago. Critical Thinkers, youth perspective on Constructive Talk.
Yak and Friends proudly presents Uhuru 8. Join us on Saturday, July 25th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the City Hall Auditorium, Harris Promenade in San Fernando. This year's celebration is held in honor of Mr. Anthony Kamiziong as we continue strengthening our African ties through culture, unity, and heritage. Experience an unforgettable evening of African dance, powerful drumming, cultural expression, and great food. Early bird tickets are $350 admits 2 and $200 admits 1. Come dressed in your finest African attire for a chance to win Best Dressed Male and Female. Celebrate African culture. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate Uhuru 8. For tickets, contact 684-1792 or ticket outlet at Something Special with Finishing Touch at Ritz Plaza, number 25, St. James Street in San Fernando.
I started to run when I scope out my country. I walk by a gun, ole, 'cause that is what they promise we. A lot's going on in the sun, so I come here to bring wisdom, so we don't burn down. We lovely society. See, a new government has the assignment to put we country into alignment. But every time they read us with their ego, it's the vulnerable who feeling that below. Lord, is it ignorance or is it arrogance? I don't know what to call it in this instance. Look at paradise right in front we eyes, but we still want to talk about who we despise. Tell me where else can we go? If we start to mash up the good things we know. Tell me where else can we go? If we treat we traditions like a papi show, you could fix everything on we island. Put gunships on we back like a tyrant. You could put 10 radars all up Scarborough. But don't forget, this is Trinidad. Yeah, man. We love we freedom, and every citizen will agree that no oppression will be accepted by our Trini. We come from long days on the ground, working hard until daylight come, so we'll see it wrong to be a financial donkey. Cause every day we see a new taxation that causing a new kind of sufferation. And when you don't create that irritation, you send police to fix with desperation. Lord, where's the common sense? Where's the true intent to make you think oppression is relevant? Don't be shocked, my friend, when we start to bend and you see them placards in front of the parliament. Tell me where else can we go? If we little children are not free to grow. Tell me where else can we go? If you try to ban the words in the calypso, you could try to stop social media or the taping of police murders. You could rewrite a bill like this also. But don't forget, this is Trinidad. Take one look around. Even lingo and all could see confusions in tongue. And it's affecting everybody. Politicians and Facebook trolls. Even Kaisonians lost their role. The world's upside down. And I'm worried for my country. Cause every day I see victimization, racial and social aberration. We saying is love and need to go wrong, but we spreading this thing like a toxin. Man, things getting so tense, some can't pay their rent, and the effect of this feeling permanent. But what scares me though, just so that you know, is the money we about to borrow. Tell me where else can we go? If the IMF start to pull we toe. Tell me where else can we go? If we toilet paper start to run too low, you could stress out the pepper worker. Take a fool and make him a leader. You could change every board cause it's your show. But don't forget, this is Trinidad. I know it's good intentions. We Prime Minister have for we, but brutal measures would only cause rebellion in TNT. Like what caused Cambule in times of old. And it's so the story unfold. It's that rebellion that give we people identity. So careful how you deal with we intellect. Cause DNA remembers every aspect. Not every time we cry it's just politics. Your mind could start to play you some dirty tricks. Look, remember that honor comes before minister. And that's why we give you so much power. So don't let us down and don't let us frown. We need to see our 360 turn around. Tell me where else can we go? If your promises start to look untrue. Tell me where else can we go? If your own voters losing trust in you, you could do what you want with what intent? You could bat up the independent bench. You could change the country that we once know. But don't forget, this is Trinidad.